for Unraveling Toxic Masculinity. We have another Pick Me Pearl video with a teenager being bullied for leaked mothers of 304 mother. When they say 304 mother, that's the other word of saying hoe, because you turn 304 around, I guess, and that makes it look like hoe, I guess. They're so creative. And so apparently this kid ended up committing suicide because of the bullying that took place. So we're going to take a look at what Pick Me Pearl had to say and go from there. So let's start the video.
So there's a story in the news today about an OnlyFans model's son killed himself. So OnlyFans star's son left suicidal after classmates taunt him with naked pictures of his mom. The 13-year-old said he had no idea his mom was on provocative social media sites.
And that's a good thing. Again, why would he know about that? She's doing the responsible thing by not allowing her son to know that she is doing adult work. And maybe sometime later, as he's older, he might find out, maybe, but it's none of his business. And if she's keeping that from him, good. That's fine. And he doesn't know. He doesn't need to know. Perfectly fine. There's no reason for him to know. Let's continue.
Suffered panic attacks when youngsters from his school began mocking him. A teenager said he had been left depressed and suicidal after his classmates flaunted naked pictures of his mom from her OnlyFans account. The 13-year-old says he has no idea his mother was on the provocative social media site and suffered a panic attack when youngsters from his school began mocking him and shared naked pictures of his mom.
Can I just say something? Like, is it weird that she has to read with the pencil like that on there? Like not just necessarily saying that it's, I mean, maybe she has some sort of learning disability or something that requires her to follow along like that, but like, I mean, do you have to read along on a piece of paper? Can you not read it like on a screen, like in front of you? Like normally when I'm reading something like an article that's in front of me, I put it in front of me so it looks like I'm looking at the camera. I mean, yes, sometimes I'll watch the video as I'm looking down, but it's kind of distracting with her kind of reading along with the pencil. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to mock her if she has any sort of learning disability that requires her to do this, but it just seems kind of weird to me that she's doing it this way. I don't know. Especially because she has the thing on the big screen right next to her. So it just seems kind of weird to me, but that's kind of a side point. Let's continue.
He said he confronted his mother about the OnlyFans account and was told he was overreacting, with his mom insisting that sex work is basically the same as working in a supermarket.
I mean, sex work is work, and if you're going to teach your child to be a good person, you should, if he does eventually find out, that it should, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's the same thing as working in a supermarket, because, you know, you're doing something completely different with the cucumbers. But other than that, it's work, and it should be considered a legitimate form of work, and she's not hurting anybody, and she's consenting to it, so nobody should have a problem with it.
Posting to Reddit, the unnamed teenager said, "I'm 13 and my mom is 33. Things at school were never great. I'm sort of short, so I get picked on a bit, but it was manageable. That was until one of my classmates showed me a picture of my mom naked. I almost had a panic attack and had to be excused from the classroom. I ended up not showing up to school for a few days, faking sick. I was hoping that things would cool off, but they didn't. As soon as I got to school, almost everyone in class was staring and laughing at me. This has been going on for about a week now."
And what did the school do about this bullying? That's the thing I want to know. What did the school do about these children having pictures of a naked woman on their phone? What did the school do about them sharing pictures of naked women with other students on their phones? What did the school do about bullying, harassment in the school for over a week? Like, the problem here is not that the parent was doing OnlyFans. The problem here is that you have other children who are not raised correctly, other children who are looking at porn sites, other children when they shouldn't be looking at porn sites, other children who are sharing naked pictures on school grounds, who are clearly in violation of school codes, I'm sure, and state law, I'm sure, and other children who are bullying on campus, which should be also a violation of various laws and or school rules. So we're blaming the mom here instead of blaming the kids for doing the bullying. And it seems like the kids were doing bullying before this happened, and then the kids just happened to strike gold in finding that the kid that they were already bullying happened to be doing, I guess, OnlyFans or whatever, and now they got to pile on with the bullying with this too. But the school should have been stepping in long before to stop the bullying and to punish the bullies.
The teenager says the bullying is gradually getting worse and worse, and now lots of students have nude images of his mom they are sharing online, and his mother shared a link to her OnlyFans on her personal Twitter page. He continued, I was wondering how my classmates even got the picture, and apparently my mom...
Well, see, the problem here is that why are these kids, again, why are they, if they're sharing nude pictures on their phones, isn't that a violation of laws if these children are having nude pictures on their phones? I mean, isn't that illegal? Why aren't they being punished for doing things that are illegal for them to do?
Mom advertises her OnlyFans on her personal Twitter account. Some students from my school follow her, so they were able to see the nudes, and they have been spread everywhere. I don't even have a Twitter, so I didn't know about any of this. The worst part was when I confronted my mom about this. She told me I was overreacting and that sex work is basically the same as working at a bank or a grocery store.
Hold on. Was just interrupted by my son, who needed to, get something from the room, and he was not dressed, and therefore I had to eliminate my picture, and I had to mute myself so I could, fuss at him, so that I could. Now I have to edit this whole thing out, and we'll continue from this point. So let's see. Let's go continue. Let's continue talking, hearing about what Pick Me Pearl has to say about this.
She said it also makes her feel...
Let's rewind a bit.
She told me I was overreacting and that sex work is basically the same as working at a bank or a grocery store. She said it also makes her feel good about herself, that I should be happy she's more confident now.
I mean, if it makes her feel good about herself, fine. But, I mean, it's understandable that a kid might be embarrassed learning that his parent is doing this kind of work. I mean, yeah, I get that. But the problem here is not with her. The problem here is with the bullies. This is my disconnect here, is the bullies. The bullies are the ones that need to be punished. The bullies are the problem here.
I told the principal, but they can't suspend thousands of students or take anyone's phones. I've been crying in my room every day.
And somebody says the kid's mom should have made her account secret. And maybe, yeah, like if I was gonna have adult content and share pictures of my naked self online, I would not link it to my Liberal Dan Radio account, clearly. I mean, okay, fine. So maybe she made a bad decision as to how she shared her images or whatever, and maybe she should have had a different Twitter account, because you could have multiple ones. Like I have one for Budgeteers, I have one for Rideshare Dan, I have one for Nerdy Dan, I have one for Liberal Dan, I have one for my personal, where I don't really use it much even, but it's just my personal one that's not Liberal Dan. It's just LJ4A.com Dan, which again, it's a terrible name, afterthought, but whatever. But you can have multiple Twitter accounts. So maybe she made hindsight being hindsight, she made a bad choice about what Twitter account she used to promote her spicy sites. But that doesn't mean, again, that she's the one to blame here. She's not the one that bullied her kid. Let's continue.
For the past week, I don't think I can take it anymore. We see wrongful death suits all the time for institutions that push people into suicide, you know, schools, even ex-lovers, girlfriends, boyfriends. But why is there no accountability on mothers that push their sons into suicide?
It's not the mother pushing the son to suicide, it's the bullies. The bullies are the one pushing the kid to suicide. The bullies are the one that chose to expose the kid to the mom's activities. The bullies are the one that decided to continuously harass the kid about the mom's activities. The bullies did this, not the mom. The bullies are the ones that created that atmosphere that drove the kid to do this, not the mom.
For their own poor decisions. And it's so funny because the mom...
It's so funny. Yeah, it's not funny at all, Pearl. This is not a funny situation. This is a horrible situation. This is a terrible situation. This woman lost her kid because bullies felt that it was funny to make, or to continue making fun of this kid, to pile on to this kid that they've already been bullying because they happen to find spicy pictures of her online.
Moms are so incredibly selfish. They are so selfish where they just think of themselves and they don't think about the kids at all. And, you know,
maybe she was thinking about the kid and trying to give the kid a better life because we live in a society that makes it difficult for women to succeed because we have these unreasonable standards of what women have to do to be able to succeed in comparison to men. Maybe she was trying to make it so that she could use whatever assets she had to make sure that she could give her child a better life. And maybe she was trying to make enough money, maybe to move her son to a private school to get her away from the bullying in the first place. Maybe she saw the child getting bullied. Maybe she saw the pain and suffering that the child was already having to deal with by dealing with these a-hole kids that he had to go to school with, and was like, well, maybe if I went ahead and did this, I could maybe move my kid to a different district, to a better district where my kid could get a better schooling with better kids. Maybe I could get my kid into a private school. Maybe I could have some other options for my child. But no, Pick Me Pearl doesn't think about that crap. She just wants to blame the mom, who's already down because the mom lost a kid.
Oftentimes what I'll hear is that this is just a fringe case. But when you have more OnlyFans workers than teachers now, this is becoming a real problem.
Okay, just because you have more OnlyFans models than teachers doesn't mean that this isn't a fringe case. And just because you have more OnlyFans models than teachers, it doesn't mean that it makes the bullying okay. And you're ignoring the bullying. You're completely ignoring them. Pick Me Pearl is probably somebody who believes that bullying is a rite of passage. I mean, Pick Me Pearl's a bully herself because she's the one who, again, in the other video that I was looking at, was mocking that guy for being fat and for living in mom's basement because maybe this guy is socially inept and has problems finding a date. Meanwhile, that guy is probably one of the ones that she probably wants to get to subscribe to her channel because she probably loves the incels. That's probably somebody who's going to ultimately be someone who subscribes to her channel.
Society. And what a lot of these women say is that, oh, you know, once they're old enough, they'll understand. I think this is so selfish. It is so wrong.
Why? Why do you think it's so selfish and so wrong? Because you're a puritanical person who doesn't understand that people can have sex for pleasure. You don't understand that people can, you know, have sex for more than just procreation, that women can actually have, you know, lives outside of being pregnancy machines for their spouses, as you believe that they should be, because you subscribe to archaic gender roles for women in society. I mean, this is a woman who walks around wearing a repeal the 19th Amendment shirt because she wants to take away the right of women to vote.
think it's terrible that we live in a society that wants to make this socially acceptable. The most important thing in a society is the children.
Right, and the most important thing in a society is the children. So we should be stepping up and stopping the children from bullying other children. We should be looking at the parents of the bullies and asking them why they failed in their parental responsibilities. Why did they fail in making sure to not teach their kids to not bully other kids? Why did they fail in making sure their kids didn't know to not go look at nudie websites as a young teen? Like, where's their responsibility in all this? If their parents did their job, their kids wouldn't be looking at naked pictures online of adults and going to OnlyFans or looking at naked adult Twitter. And then if they did their job, their kids wouldn't be bullying. They would be treating their peers with respect and dignity, and not be, treating their other peers horribly. But no, Pick Me Pearl wants to support the bullies.
Children are innocent. They had nothing to do with the world's problems. Yet,
no, the children that were bullying him were not innocent. Not at all.
We want to keep forcing our problems onto the children.
The children who bullied this kid were the ones with problems.
Yeah, so I think this is unacceptable. And I think that we really need to, I think we should ban OnlyFans. I think we should
ban OnlyFans. I'm a conservative, and I think we should ban everything that I don't like, but I'll argue for the free market for everything else. But I think we should ban everything I don't like. Stupid. If people consent to an activity, there should be no problem with them doing the activity. If everybody consents, no problem with it. These people don't like that women have been able to leverage OnlyFans to be able to take money out of the economy and put it into their own pockets. They don't like the fact that women have been able to take men's money, and maybe some women too, and been able to have figured out how to use the desires that men have and be able to use it to get a lifestyle where they can make $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a month sometimes, and therefore not need a dude to rely on, therefore uprooting their desires of having women be subservient to men, because that's what they want. They want women to be subservient to men, and as such, women who are able to do OnlyFans no longer need to be subservient to men, because they can have their own money. And they could do OnlyFans for maybe a few years and probably be financially independent for the rest of their lives, just from doing OnlyFans. And there are some people probably who do OnlyFans who might only do OnlyFans with like a partner. Like, here's my OnlyFans. Here's me doing OnlyFans with a partner. And here's my scenarios, this, that, the other, whatever, and there you go. But I'm using my own. I feel like I can use my own body to be able to make a buck, and then at the end of the day, I can have my own money and not have to rely on anything else. I don't have to rely on anybody else. Good for them. Pearl doesn't like that. Pearl probably is mad that she can't make money on OnlyFans.
I think the U.S. should ban OnlyFans because.
Oh, not just the U.S. So no, everyone else is fine, but the U.S. should ban OnlyFans.
And this is another reason why men should have the children, because at least when men are sleeping around or being a dog, whatever, they're wise enough to keep it away from the children.
Are you kidding me? So men are that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That men who sleep around keep it away from the. I'm sure that there are plenty of men who sleep around who don't keep it away from the children, and plenty of kids know that the men are sleeping around. Trust me, they know. They know. Anyway, what do you think? Agree, disagree? Leave your comments below, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Have a good night.